No fun bridge shenanigans here. You can't walk off this one like you can on Chaos Isle. There's just an empty chasm down there, which presumably leads back down to the deeper in the barrow. There is one more floor below this. It's got like 3 layers. Wraiths, you're annoying. Stab it. I mean, Branna to cast Light and Solar Wrath. That sucks. At least Cholet knows Solar Wrath too. For now. I took it away from her in the update. Sorry. Yeah, I actually ended up doing a second update. I think I talked a little bit about how I was looking at, like, the costs of items and things. Well, I ended up revising a little bit of other stuff, too. Like, I double-checked my enemy stats and verified some things, like making sure they were high enough wizard rank to know the spells that I'd given them, and things like that. In the case of enemies not being high enough wizard rank, I just raised it for them. But in the case of heroes being too low wizard rank for a spell, I ended up replacing it with something else. This actually didn't affect too many people, which made me happy because I didn't want to really change that too much. But like one character that was affected was Godric, who was no longer high enough wizard to know dragon flames. I ended up giving him debilitation instead, which is still useful for him in the early game, I think, because a lot of the enemies on the road to Aramon are going to hit you a lot harder whenever your armor options are so few and so weak. And although it was always nice being able to barbecue things with dragon flames, they really took the stamina cost out of him. Like, dragon flames would cost him 7 stamina to cast in the original game, and his health was always so low that you would cast it like twice, and he would be unable to cast it anymore, and he would be in critical condition. and an enemy would walk up and sneeze on him and he'd die. So maybe debilitation is a better thing for him to have. Just maybe. But Cholet was another one. Because I'd already nerfed her stats before, she was too low ranked to know Solar Wrath. And I didn't want her to have it anyway, because those spells are supposed to be something you earn yourself. Hey, we got the teleportation one off the Wraiths. The reason I decided to give teleportation to the Wraiths is kind of a funny story. In the original game, it seems there was some confusion between Wraith Touch and teleportation. There is a wand called Wraith Touch that's unused that casts teleportation. And there's a there's a scroll called Teleportation that teaches Wraith Touch. Uh-huh. You following so far? And both spells require Wizard rank 8 to learn. So I was like, I don't know exactly what happened here. But I was like, okay, we'll give the teleport stuff to the Wraiths as they're the rare items on their drop table. Excuse me. They share their drop table with Spirit Wolves, so you can also find it off of them. But I balanced the drop table for Wraiths because Wraiths are significantly more common than Spirit Wolves. So you're more likely to find these items off of Wraiths because there's just so many more of them. And there are so few Spirit Wolves in the game. I'm gonna banish this guy. Get banished! Oh, it didn't make him go all the way. I wanted it to, but he didn't feel like it. It was supposed to be cool. It's looking like the Earth Elemental's the leader, though, so let's just hit him. He didn't take a lot of damage from that. Oof. Or that, jeez. Yeah, maybe the Wraith is the leader, look at him go. Why didn't I cast Banishing again? I'm so stupid. Yeah, whatever. If he wants to stick around and die, then that's fine. The damage is done, Earth Elemental. There's no reason to cast Versus Star on him now. There's a lot of Earth Elementals in this one. Donovan, get busy. Start banishing them. I want to see big numbers, man. Big numbers. Finish them off. One hit. Oh. At least we almost got this Wraith out of the way. The only reason I haven't cast Light is because he's around. In fact, I'm going to do it now because he's all by himself. He's the only one left. Banish him. Just don't have it in you, do ya? Oh god, he's casting Strength. Scary. I should have cast the Aura of Death there. Whoopsie daisy. Ah! In the new version, these guys are going to be lunar instead of solar. So I would be using Aura of Wrath instead. The reasoning behind that decision is that I decided to vary up some of the late game armors because I kind of treated the elemental armors as if they were all the same one. There's 4 different versions, one for each elemental, but they all have like the same stats and the only difference is like what they make you weak to. So what I decided to do was I added aspects to those armors, so half of them are solar and half of them are lunar. But to do that, that would mean the monsters themselves also have to be solar and or lunar in order to wear those armors in the first place. So to make it an even split, what do you think you're doing? Do not dispel my Aura of Death on you. You suck, guy. You suck. And he interrupted my train of thought. How rude. How completely rude. Now he's squashing Cholet. You know what? You're bad. Yeah, cast this on you while I still can. Anyway, I wanted to make half of them solar, half of them lunar, and I only had to change the Earth Elemental because water elementals are already lunar, and fire and air were already solar, so I was like, okay, we'll make the Earth Elementals lunar. And their armor can only be worn by lunars. Goodbye, idiots. Ooh, Aileron, level. What should I raise now? I've got so much stuff. Gosh. What do I even need anymore? I guess I've been neglecting my warrior pretty bad. How high can I push my damage? Exactly that high. I think the thief level's worth more than the warrior level. That was that ghost guy. Yeah. Over here is a crevasse that we are impeded from entering by an invisible barrier. And maybe we can... Yeah, did you see it there? If you finagle the camera angle for a second, you can spot the Horn of Kainon on its pedestal over there. I don't know what the logic behind putting it there was exactly, but that spot does not open up until you've cleared the barrow. As well as these grated doors. Like, is this another one I can look through to see treasures? Again, the draw distance is too low, you can't really see them. I'm also noticing something absent. I don't usually come to this floor before I've dealt with the whites, but their symbols appear on the floor in front of this grate. I wonder if they appear gradually, or if it's just all at once. Whatever. Anything else out here? On this floor? It's sounding pretty empty. I don't even hear anything's footsteps. No one but my own. It's so lonely and quiet. Any more monsters? Oh, here's the staircase up. This is what I was thinking of before when I said there was a spiral staircase, but the spiral just leads to a ladder, and this is just a staircase. Is there anything on the other side of the staircase? I don't think so. No, just a narrow space. Are we done down here? It looks like there's one tiny corner of the map we haven't seen. Where is it? How do I get it? I wanna complete my map. For my own OCD's sake. I don't know if I actually have OCD. Never been diagnosed with it, but I would not be surprised at all. I'm just particular. Okay, almost got it. Should be this little corner. What? No! I'm clearly there. That one little sliver. How do I make it appear? No, we gotta get to the bottom of this. This is the most important thing now. We can't do it. That sliver is forever incomplete. Curse you, Aidyn. Curse you! Oh well. We've very clearly killed everything over here. So let's head even deeper. I guess I could have taken those stairs up. Or is that where I need to go? Maybe this is the bottom floor. And I had it backwards. We need to go up those stairs. It's like a big old chasm. Ooh, spooky. This place definitely could have used some ambience. That's a crevice. Or rather, a corner. I think corners are inherently different from crevices because corners cannot be advanced through. We gotta go all the way around here, don't we? Where's that staircase? There. Okay. Go up it. Oh, hello. You're supposed to come from the other side, and these guys are, like, guarding it. Are any of these guys going the wrong way? We saw one do it before, so we know they can. Hum-de-dum. Just kill the wraith. I'm trying to think what other changes I was making in the most recent patch, because it ended up being more than I expected I would be making. I guess the stat verification thing was a big part of it. I'm trying to compile the data in a spreadsheet for handy reference material. It's basically the only source that lists all the junk I've been doing, so that's something I was working on today. I'm doing one for both the original game and for this, so that they can be more easily compared and that the datum is more accessible to people if they're curious. And it might also be useful for people in their own modding endeavors if anyone else ever decides to bust into the Aidyn scene here. If you can even call it a scene. But yeah, it's a lot. I've gotten past like the formatting bits, and the rest is just kind of tedious data entry. Which is something I enjoy on some bizarre level, but it's also very time consuming. Bit of a pain, that data entry thing. Got a stone hand. Okay. So this is the tomb area, where all the whites have their coffins. And as you can see, each coffin has a symbol on the ground in front of it, just like the symbols in front of the dragons, and just like the symbols in front of the rocks on the surface. I don't know if you saw any, but I didn't really point them out. Basically, the idea is you have to check these symbols in the same order as they are listed in front of the dragons from left to right. So the dragons are your clue for the order they have to be done in. And that's basically all you get. None of this is stated outright, really. Donovan just can't seem to kill these guys in one hit anymore. Makes me sad. I can't hit that zombie. He's too close. I should be casting Aura of Wrath anyway to scare them away. Go away, monsters. You are annoying. I did end up adjusting the stamina cost of spells. I had to come up with a function to really make it work, because I wanted it to be based on something. I don't like just assigning arbitrary numbers to things. but it was a little bit tricky because I wanted to make it a balance of the wizard rank required to learn the spell and the experience requirement to raise the spell, because those are not always the same thing, and it's kind of a measure of a spell's difficulty in general. Like, if a spell requires a high wizard rank and a lot of experience to raise, then it's going to need a lot of stamina to cast, yeah? But if the opposite is true, then it should be very low. However, there are some spells you can learn at very low wizard ranks that take a bit more experience to raise than you might expect. Like buffing spells in particular, such as Brilliance, Dexterity, etc. You learn those at fairly low ranks, and if the stamina cost is too high for them, then it's a real problem, because then it's really hard for the weaker heroes in the early game to use them, because that's when their stamina is the lowest. Like I was just talking about with Gardrick before. If I set the stamina cost for debilitation too high, then he's not going to be able to make very good use of it in the early game when he would need it. But I crunched some numbers and found one that works. I didn't have to make any exceptions. And now it worked out such that the aura spells will cost at least 10 stamina no matter what your wizard rank is. Like, they start at 12 when you can learn them, at rank 8 as a wizard. And if you hit rank 10 as a wizard, then the stamina cost will go down by 2, and you can cast it for 10. I think you can probably equip items that boost your wizard rank above 10 to reduce it even further. Good god, he just did 100 damage to that skeleton. But yeah, stamina costs, I think they'll be more fair. I checked how high they could go and how low they could go, and I think it worked out good. We got the Terra Ward! That's the one for the Earth Elemental. They're weak to fire. Woo! Distractions. Anyway. Yeah, I looked at it and I made sure that the stamina costs seemed fair for what the spells were and when they would be available to the wizards using them. All that good stuff. And hopefully the game will be better balanced as a result. That's more like it, Donovan. Those are the kind of hits we want to see, dude. Very, very good. Stupid skeletons. Can we scare you guys away? We've almost finished with the random encounters around this area. This might even be the last one. Once it's done with, we can get on with the puzzles. That'll be just great. You can see how obtuse this puzzle really is. I was taking a drink of my soda and trying to control the game at the same time. I guess it worked. Look at this nerd. He wants to fight. Oh, this one is not running either. How about that? What's your problem, skeletons? Don't you have any sense of self-preservation? Run a level. Ooh. What do we want her to have? We can get her wizard and thief up too. Can we go all the way? Nope, we wasted it on thief. Well, it wasn't that much of a waste, really. Mechanic 9. Never hurts to have Mechanic 9. Sure, we'll boost that too. Hey, we got the skull key. Actually, that was the other thing I ended up changing, the drop charts. Oh my goodness, I looked over the drop charts again. And I didn't change them too dramatically, but I did end up kicking a few things around, because I wanted it to make a little more sense than it did. And what inspired that in the first place... Well, hold on. First of all, let me show you this little back entrance to the barrow. If you come over here to this hole in the wall that's very poorly covered by a bush and guarded by a sandworm, you can enter the barrow from another side. As if it didn't have enough entrances already. Anyway, what prompted me to look over the drop charts is that I ended up doing something different with the rank 10 scrolls. I talked a little before about trying to turn the letter to Zoman into a scroll, but I think I mentioned that even though it has a scroll's icon, it's still a key item, so it can't be used as a scroll. We only have 4 extra scrolls out of the whole lot of scrolls. But it occurred to me that having the scrolls be offense-oriented is not super useful. Like, these are scrolls that you're supposed to cast in combat. You're not supposed to use them to learn the spells that are on them, because their whole purpose is that they use the spell at rank 10, where most scrolls would only cast it at rank 5. So I decided to change all 4 of those scrolls into something different instead.